All right, all right, what's going on, brothers? Hopefully everything's going good. Hopefully everything's going well for you guys. All right, brothers, I'm gonna show you pictures of girls, uh, mainly famous girls, because that's something everybody can relate to, and how I view them in the spectrum of the so-called black community. How I view these girls, or what girls I would put in this classifications, and have I had experience with these type of women? My views on it. It's just me. Giving you my thoughts on certain women. All right, a certain uh, style of women, certain spirits of women, or certain characters. You know, they're ilk. Whatever a category. All right, as you can see, it's sexy red, brothers. All right, in my opinion of the sexy red, a lot of so-called black women in America fit in her category. Me personally, my opinion of the sexy reds, brother, they are what they say they are. What you see is what you get. Uh, that's just been, and I've dealt with women like sexy red, brothers, for real. I definitely have. The good thing about sexy red, brothers, in my experience, is that the sexy reds are not going to, they're not going to be too grimy. Not saying they can't, but the sexy red is not going to call the cops on you and tell you, oh yeah, he did. Nah, you hit her, she gonna hit you back. She gonna want to have sex with you later. You know what I mean? You go to jail, she's gonna be there for you. Out of all these girls, the sexy red categories, man, is probably the best ones you can get, in my opinion. If you want to deal with those women, and my advice, brothers, is not to deal with these type of women seriously. But growing up in the so-called black community, brothers, you bump into these women. It just is what it is, right? But that's just my vantage point on the sexy red types. Could I be wrong? Yes, I could be. I'm just giving you my experiences, what I've experienced and what I've seen other guys experience with women who I would put in her category. They are who they say they are. Ain't no faking it. It ain't no faking it. You know what I mean? You're not gonna. Not saying she won't be uncomfortable, but it's gonna be. It's gonna be a little bit hard to put a woman like sexy red in an uncomfortable position. Not saying you can't, but it's gonna be kind of hard. Like sexy red might come in where and you guys could be like, oh, getting all physical with her, and she ain't gonna even get out of character. You know what I mean? She might say something, boy, you don't get your little dick ass out of the way. You know what I mean? She might do something like that, like serious business. I've dated girls like her, but that's just my view of her from the outside looking in. I could be totally wrong, but she could be pitting up a cap. But I don't think so. But that's just my view on the girls who I put in that category. That's just my opinion. If you're going to deal with the hood rats seriously, or the hoochies, whatever they want to call it, that'll be your best bet. These girls right here, the sexy red category. Because they are who they are. And they're not going to, not saying you ain't going to have drama in your life, because they are women. But you're going to have a lot less conniving, a lot less thieving. You have a whole lot less dealing with these type of women. And all you gotta do, brothers, is just have fun with them. They cool. As long as you can have fun with them, they ain't gonna really hardly give you too much trouble. But that's up to you, brothers. I would advise, not to take them seriously. Now, if you just hooking up, cool. But to each his own. Let's go to the next. All right, these are the cappers, brothers. The Cardi B's and the Nicki Minaj's of the world, they are the cappers. And I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. They act like a whole, they put on a whole persona, and they actually might do whole things. But in all essence, these are the women who want to be married, want to wash, cook, and clean, serve you, want to have a family. These are the women that's gonna confuse the street guys. Cause you guys gonna be like, yeah, man, you gonna be like, yeah, man, she a good girl, woo woo, right? And and I noticed, this is something I noticed, they usually have, not all the time, but this is something I've noticed, they usually are from other countries. Like Cardi B people are from Puerto Rico, Nicki Minaj people are from the islands. Their parents usually from another country. They usually are. A lot of times those girls be capping, but you got African American women who are like that too, who are parents who are from America, Africa, America, who come from a good household who acts like this too, like that girl off the TV, that movie show, Nunu. You know what I mean? Nunu, even though that was a character, but Cardi B's and Nicki Minaj's are the new news of the ghetto, and there's a lot of so-called black women who are fit into that category. The new news. They're so you gotta watch them, man. They are. Excuse me. Also, with these type of women, I think it's best to just have fun with them, and that's it too. All of them, be personally. But they're like the new news of the world. They really want to be married and have what you would call a regular life. But a lot of times, man, it's hard to take them seriously because I'm just saying, for me, my experience, because one, you put on this whole persona, and brothers, at any given time they can go right back to that, and they usually do. It's like they go back and forth, whatever fits them at the time. Brother, I'm telling you, I've dated women like this. They'll throw you off balance. You'll get to thinking like, damn, maybe I can build a family with this girl. They'll throw you off balance, man. So. But look, as soon as you make her mad, she'll be back out on the hoe stroll, man. You be like, back out acting like a hoe, You be like, damn. So watch them, man. And it's a lot of so-called black women in the ghettos who will fit in this category, in my opinion. All right, let's go to the next. All right, this is Trina. All right, Trina. It's not, Trina are what you would call the nurses of the world. The nurses, Meg Thee Stallion. They'll fall into this category. The Trinas of the world, they get around. They're kind of like the what you would kind of say a classy hood rat, if you could say that. Like, they'll go to a function. They can go to a function, dress nice and be cool and talk to people. You know what I mean? You could take them to like a soiree or something, But they still will be what you would call a hood rat, the ghetto girl, right? And they usually have slept with a lot of people. But the way that they move, the way they operate, they usually don't get a bad rep because of the way they carry themselves. But these girls, like I say, Meg Thee Stallion won't fall into this category. Like I said, they usually are what you call it, nurses, things like that. They might be a secretary, a manager. They usually have a good job, usually. I mean, they might be a manager or something, a post office worker. They usually have a very good job, and they get around, man. They get around. And like I said, they have, the way they present themselves is a little bit more classier. But that, a little bit more classier. So that's all I can say about those girls. I'm trying to think. I've dated some, I've dated some. They're more, the few I've dated, I would say that was pretty cool. I didn't really have too many, when I'm talking about like drama, like a lot of conniving things, not too much. They're more so about appearances. That's my vantage point of them. I could be wrong. The Meg Stallions of the world and her, the Trinas of the world, a lot of so-called black women in the ghetto, so-called black community fit in that category. They're more so about appearances. So these are the girls, they're not going to blow up your spot. They want to keep up appearances. Not saying they won't, but you have to really piss them off to make them blow up your spot. These are the type of so-called black women, like if you going somewhere, they'll actually give you the money to pay. They'll do stuff like that. But they, but they get around, man. They usually have a lot of partners. And they usually are cheating on you. They usually cheating on you, man. And they usually move, that's just how they move their women. Like, you could be mad at her, you and her take a break, oh, best believe. If you and her take a break, best believe she gonna be in a slept with 2-3 guys. I'm talking about just within a month. Maybe more than that. So, they have their bad points, man. They definitely get around, man. That's, those women of that nature. But they won't blow up your spot, man. And in my opinion, of these type of women, it's hard to please them. because a lot of times, to me, they have a lot of problems because they usually make good money. They want the man to make what they're making, and usually men are not going to make that type of money, and if they do, it's usually later on in life. These are the type of women, because they look good. Like I said, they usually are making like 80-some thousand, 70-some $1,000. You're talking about 25, 26 years old. It might take a man damn near 35, 37 years old to even get somewhere near that. You know what I mean? So that's usually the problem they have. I'm just saying in the so-called black community in real time. So, but anyway, that's what I say about them who fall in that category. Let's go to the next. All right, the city girls, brothers. These are what I would call permanent side chicks. Permanent side chicks. And they're not going to give you a lot of trouble, in my opinion. I've seen them. I've dealt with them. They're permanent side chicks, man. Long as you are, and they're not hard to please. It's just in my opinion. Could I be wrong? Yes, I could be. But of course, these girls are millionaires, or are famous. So to please them might be a little bit higher as opposed to the everyday man. But I've came across women like this, man. In my opinion of them, what I would put in their category, they're what I call permanent side chicks. You find you have more fun with them. They're not going to really give you a lot of trouble. I'm not saying they can't, but, as long as you got a good understanding of them, you know what I mean, you having fun, hooking up, you'll be okay with these girls, man. Would I take them seriously? No. This is another thing, brothers. I think that brothers mess up when they dealing with all these type of women. When they start taking them seriously, that's when they start getting a lot more trouble. When you just dealing with these women, on the hookup, you'll find you have a better interaction with them. Not saying you're gonna come out unscathed, but you're just gonna cut a couple scratch marks. Now the guys they deal with seriously, those are the guys that are gonna be getting the headaches, child support, court, all that nonsense. But these are permanent side chicks, man. Whether they know it or not, the women I put in this category, you'll find that they do better and they operate better in life, in society, when they're a side chick. It never ceased to fail, man. I saw it in the 80s, the late 80s when I was a young kid. I couldn't understand at the time, to the 90s, to all the way up to now. It's always been women like these girls, they call them permanent side chicks. As long as you got them on the side, man, they cool. They ain't gonna, serious business. So that's my opinion of them. I've dated women like this, and I made the mistake of getting serious with women like this, and which I shouldn't have did. I had a permanent side chick girl, man. Everything was going smooth. My goofy, anyway, I took it to the next level, and boy, was that a mistake. And just like the cappers, the permanent side chicks, they can get you. You have to be careful. These are the girls, like, you'll be chilling. She'll be making your plate, making your dinner, find out what your favorite food is. You come over, she done made it. You're like, oh, snap. She, she doing nice things for you. So you have to be careful with them, too. They like that, man. They'll win you over if you're not careful. You be thinking like, man, I got to keep this one. Nah. All right? So anyway, let's go to the next. This is Kaya. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Kaya, but to me, Kayas are the trash in the ghetto world. And I'm gonna tell you why, because they have mouths. Kayas, Tia Kim, Rick Ross' baby mama. These women are all in the same category. And you brothers know who these girls are. They might not be of course they get around, but they might not be, in my opinion, from my experience of being around women like this, they tend not to be as hoish. They don't really have that many bodies. And I think one of the reasons why that happens is because of their mouth. A lot of people don't want to deal with them. Now, I don't care how good they look. Once their reputation get out, once it gets out who they really are, a lot of people stay away from them. The Kayas, the Tias of the world, they have a bad mouth, man. I would say stay away from them girls. I've dealt with them. It never lasted long. And when I got wiser, sharper, and smarter, I just stayed away from them type of women. Once I figured out, like, nah, I'm good. Because I don't, you don't want to deal with a woman. I don't want to deal with a woman like that. I mean, these women have mouths. They'll say some of the most disrespectful things. They don't care where it's at. They're going to try to hurt. It could be in front of your grandmother. They'll say some of the most disrespectful stuff, man. And then, it leads to a lot of drama. You know what I mean? You don't want to deal with a woman like that. The Kayas, the Tias of the world, it's a lot of them, too. They tend to, and they usually, I'm just saying from my experience, they usually end up being with a guy who beats them up. Like, they do. Like, they usually, and I'm not trying to call the guy they with a woman beater. I'm not going to even say that. Because these type of women, in my opinion, they need discipline. and they need discipline, man. But I'm serious. They usually end up being with guys who are not going to tolerate that nonsense off of them, who go upside their head. I'm just being honest with you. They usually do. I would say stay away from these women. They usually not as hoish, in my opinion. And I think it's because of their mouth. A lot of people don't want to be around them because of their mouths. They be like, I'm good, man. I mean, you got some are worse than others. I mean, the Kias, the Tias of the world, I mean, it gets so bad, man, even the simps will stay away from them. That's how bad they can get. Tokyo Tony, I put her in that same category. My bad, I put Tokyo Tony in the same category. She's like that, fine, but she got a mouth, a lot of, caused a lot of drama. Hell, I don't think none of these women I don't think those two women even got men's neither. You know what I mean? Their attitude, their mouth, you don't want to be with them type of women. I'll put these in the same category. You don't want to be with those type of women, man. You want to stay away from them, man. But I think Tokyo Tony I think she has had a lot of bodies, though. And also I'll say this, brothers, sometimes it can vary. There's so many degrees, so many little degrees. They can go from one category to the next sometimes, But yeah, Tokyo Tony's, I would say, when I think about it, I would say Tokyo Tony is more attitude. Kaya got the mouth. The attitude and the mouth. Tokyo, not saying Tokyo don't have a mouth, but, Tokyo mouth ain't as vicious as hers, I would say. But Tokyo Tony got a real bad attitude, man. My personal opinion of her. She usually, a lot of guys tend to mess with her because she look good. Guys, I'm talking about girls who fit her category. But she had a bad attitude. But just like the Kias of the world, as time goes by, most people stay away from her, as far as men do. They end up staying away from her, once they get to know her. They like, I'm cool. They don't want to deal with the drama and the headache it brings. And just like the Kayas of the world, the Tokyo Tonys of the world, they usually end up with a guy who goes upside their head. They usually do. From my experience of watching these women, they usually end up with a guy who will slap them up. That's usually who they end up being with. So anyway, let's go to the next. All right, now we got Suki Hana, right? Now Suki Hana, man, in my opinion, man, I would have put her with Sexy Red, but I can't. Suki Hana, man, is one of those girls, man, who will flip out on you, man, in my opinion of you. I'm not saying she's going to cause you a lot of drama, but I think if something go wrong, if you do something, Suki Hana will play her. She'll play you to the left. That's just my suspicion of her. I could be wrong. I want to put in the category of a Sexy Red, but I think Suki Hana is the type of girl, she'll come. This is what my thoughts on her is. She'll come and she'll be a hoe. But before she leaves, she might steal something from you. Steal some cookies, a bag of chips, steal some shoes. I'm serious. Like, she'll steal from you, man. She'll do something conniving. I just think Suki Hana is conniving. I could be wrong. It's just because of what I've seen her do. When the old boy tried to kiss her, which I know old boy shouldn't have, but the way she tried to play victim. You know what I mean? Like, how she tried to play, like, oh, like, it really hurt her, and, that's why, and I think Suki Hana is, I think, so, But I definitely think Suki Hana's a whore. But I don't know, man. But yeah, I would say Suki Hana's a wild card. The girls I put in her category, they're wild cards, and I could be off on her. I'm pretty sure there's other guys who can break this down more better than me. But that's just my opinion on the girls who look like a Suki Hana. They'll do things like back in the day. They'll sneak guys into their house, and then they'll cry rape. I don't know if you brothers seen anything like that in the '90s, but that was kind of popular in the '90s where I was coming from. Well, if a girl got caught with a guy, she'll try to say rape or something, or she'll try to lie and put the guy in a vice. I think Suki Hana comes from that category. You know what I mean? She comes from that category. There's a lot of them that do that, man. Or at least they did. Back in the day, I've seen that happen quite a few times, where guys would mess with these girls who were pretty whorish, but as soon as they get caught, they would lie. Talking about the guy raped them, and try to play victim, like he manipulated me. I didn't know what I was doing. That's what I get from the Suki Hanas of the world. And there's still a lot of those girls in the black community now, man. I'm telling you, man, a lot of you brothers know. I mean, they'll be sexy, especially they like it. They'll be sexy all on you, throwing their ass all on you, all type of stuff. But let something happen, they'll be trying to cry victim and throw you under the bus. Like the sexy red type, like, yeah, I did it, and what? You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I did it. The Suki Hanas are gonna be trying to play. Oh no, the Suki Hanas of the world are the nastiest, in my opinion. They usually have the biggest body counts, in my opinion. The Suki Hanas of the world, they usually have the biggest body counts out of all these categories of girls in the so-called black community. Now as long as you able to do your thing with her in the shadows, I'm talking about the Suki Hana in the real time. This girl's famous or whatever, but the real time Suki Hana, as long as you can do what you do with her in the shadows and nothing come to the light, you'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? As long as you're not taking her seriously. And that's what all these girls, in my opinion, man. Just hook up and have fun with her. I don't think you should take none of them seriously. I don't think none of them. Personally, I don't think you should. But anyway, brothers, that's my breakdown of that, man. I'm out, brothers. Remember, if you just hooking up and having fun with these girls, you will not escape. You will not escape unscathed. I'm not gonna say. Some of you will, but if you take them seriously, that's when you really gonna hit it. You're gonna take a real big toll, physically, mentally, financially. You never take these women seriously, in my personal opinion. Never. But hey, of course, some guys are gonna do so. It is what it is. I'm out. Peace.